Okay, so we got Legend of Korra here, the Civil Wars Part 1. And, it's nice to actually have this, like, the day after it comes out. I mean, we're literally doing this right after it aired, so that's pretty cool.
Well, not right after it aired, I DVR'd it.
We're the illusion!
Okay, it was 1 hour later.
The funny characters are still funny, that was...
Yeah, that uncle guy. What a riot!
Okay, I didn't say he was funny, though. But Boomy's still funny. The artist formerly known as Howard Hughes is still funny.
What is his name?
They said it once, and I was
yeah.
like, didn't catch it, so it just
Varys,
forget it.
I keep forgetting.
They will kill you down there! Don't try!
Yeah, and I guess here it's... Okay, so there's a scene where, like, Korra walks into where the uncle is sitting, and literally it's like a totally black room. He's sitting on his throne, and there's a shadow over him, and it's like, how can you not guess this is gonna be the
Well, my favorite is, the second they showed that scene, he's sitting there, and you just go, I'm still not being the villain.
So, I mean,
They're dragging their feet on this, though. Like, it's...
Yeah,
he's still not outed as pure villain yet, but
I will say, like, there's still stuff
he
that
may not be a pure villain. We don't know. So
there's stuff that he still says to her that seems like okay, like you can see why she is still drawn over to his side. It's not just the confidence he has in her, but the way he talks. It's like it seems very sort of well, this logically makes sense, and you can see her starting to question it.
Way of speaking.
Yes, well. Anything.
You must bring balance to the spirit world.
Yeah, it would be nice if he had a little bit more emotion, actually.
He's very
Very Liam Neeson-ish, which I'm not usually a fan of, but, whatever. And we got a little bit more of her sort of rebellious, like, I'm just gonna rush into something, but I will admit at the end of this one, because she thinks that the father is kidnapping the brother, and it turns out he's not. And when she comes in and sees the mother and father, I'm like, oops. No, but I thought that worked. And
it's because she realized she made a mistake.
Well, no. But the fact that not even that she made a mistake, that she thought he would actually do it, and because you could feel that she's calculating in her head, oh my god, what's this gonna mean? Like she's even like, if you leave now, I won't tell anybody, but you have to put him back, and she's just already calculating in her head, oh my gosh, my father gonna go to jail? This is gonna be the end, and suddenly the stuff he did before doesn't seem as bad.
And I like that scene too because she was trying to give what she thought was her dad every single sort of out. So even if her dad was, quote unquote, betraying the Northern Water Tribe or whatever, she was still not trying to just grab him and just say, yeah, screw this. And she was trying to give him every chance to not do it.
Yeah, so I like that scene where she comes back and she sees, the parents there and does the traditional sorry scene that we've seen a lot from her. But there, I felt it really worked because she didn't have to tell him why necessarily. I mean, I think she sort of does, but it's just that she realized, oh, you didn't do this, and I'm sorry I ever thought that you would do this. It's not even something that he did, it's something that she thought he would have done. And I like that. I thought that was.
But he was arrested, so.
Well, yeah. Then it's like, what the hell? So, that's great fun. I'm really fascinated with the Tenzin, Boomy,
oh my god,
and,
the angst!
sister.
There was
like,
a ton of childhood regret. I'm like, this is like a Dr. Phil episode.
Well, and what's so interesting?
I actually found that more interesting than the other.
Actually, when I was like, when I turned the camera here, I'm like, okay, and what happened? It's like I was thinking, mostly of like Tenzin as brother and sister.
I was like, wow, that was. It's like sitting in at a party and a couple of siblings or something go at it, and all of a sudden you're just like, wow, this was revealing.
I'm just gonna look over here while they're talking, and it's interesting because you wouldn't, because Aang is, the Avatar and the almighty perfect
Dad
whatever.
always took you to ride the elephant koi. What's up with that?
Well, Mom always took you to ride the elephant penguins.
Wasn't this fun?
I just wonder what an elephant penguin looks like now.
Ooh. You know what, creators, make that happen.
Yeah, let's see that. If not by the creators of the show, just somebody below draw that and put a link to it.
No, that whole section of the story, I found the most interesting. Well, I'm like, okay, so this wasn't exactly a happy childhood, and now we're all angry, bitter adults.
Well, what's so interesting that it's not, hey, these three just couldn't get along or something like that. It was specifically Aang liked him the most and would take him on vacations without the other two, which is like, you wouldn't think that of Aang, which is why it's so fascinating. I'm almost wondering if that's something where it's like, hey, was this something he really kind of did, or was this something where it's like they're remembering it or seeing it a little different?
Tenzin's the only airbender, so there was probably that connection, and he wants to pass on the whole airbending thing.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that maybe he was like training him harder too, and that's why he's such a stick in the mud.
Yeah, but you know what? Knowing Aang, it probably started off as like, yes, this is going to be some spiritual mission. Ooh, elephant koi!
Well, but I think we're assuming, I mean, we saw him in some of the flashbacks, like when he grows up, he's more mature. I mean, he's
more mature, but I could totally see like that happening. Like, oh yeah, and this is where we're gonna meditate, and then oh, holy crap, elephant koi, let's go.
Yeah, the only way I can see working it right now is that he would reveal that actually Aang like worked him really hard to be the airbender, to be the responsible one. That's why he's the stick in the mud. But he did give him rewards too. That's the only thing I can figure. It's like I don't know how they would tie it around.
I'm pretty sure that each is the product of some quirk in the parenting.
Well, that's
I mean,
what
Boomy,
so
they mentioned that
fascinating.
Boomy is the oldest one, but he acts like the youngest. You know, Tenzin was going on about how, like, yeah, well, you were always running around. It was about time you settled down after Dad died and did something for Mom. And I'm just like, holy crap.
Yeah, no, it gets like enjoyably awkward because I just anything with Tenzin is just always wonderful.
You know what kills me most of all is I love the way the end credits run, because it's almost like the end credits just showed up and we're just like, you know what, we're just gonna let them go and we're just gonna run the end credits because this may be a while, you know, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, we watched.
We're just gonna cut away now.
Yeah, I mean, we watched this, you know, on Nick HD, and for whatever reason, the credits didn't run like right before the end. It ran when the three of them are arguing, and then stopped. I was sort of waiting for like you know it to fade to black, and so I guess they're doing it.
They did that last time too, though.
I guess they're doing it so it didn't interrupt another like.
So it's not right near the end, but it's so funny just to have this long argument.
Yeah, like,
it's like, well,
look, here's the credits,
and then all of a sudden the credits start running, just cut away.
Never mind us, we're just doing the credits. Okay, we're gone. Bye. So.
It was almost like the Oscars where they have the music to play you off when you're going too long. It's like, all right, we're going to run the credits. Maybe that'll shut them up.
So, yeah, I think that was by far the best. Not too much of a connection to the last two episodes. I mean, certainly we have the army coming in, they're addressing that. But
honestly, I know it's a part one, so compared to last episode, I thought this one was slightly more fillery. Like, I felt like it was much slower paced. Like
it was slower paced, but I felt it was okay. I think because the last two we did see so much of the spirits and stuff like that. And it looks like it's going to lead to something big in the next one with like the trial and everything. So I'm okay with it. It wasn't totally like, hey, you could just cut that episode. It seems like no, this is definitely here and got some good stuff going on, but. Yeah, again, also, we don't know how many episodes they have this season, so, I mean, we have no idea if this is, like, 12 or 20, whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But,
well, did you notice there was one thing they did mention?
What was it?
Which they did not really bring up in the first episode. She says at some point, because somebody brought this up, and I'm like, I had thought of it last time, but I forgot to mention it, which is... We were complaining that her reaction to Tenzin was cruel, the way he just, you know, it's like, it's been an honor serving you, and she's just like, you know. So, you know, I've heard mentioned, and I do agree, like, well, she could be angry because Tenzin's in on this lie, you know, about her father. Like, her father's
well,
been doing this.
She didn't know then, though, about the lie. She found out about the father later after that.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, so that is... defucked right there.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go.
But that is mentioned now in this episode. It's like Tenzin, you know, my dad, Tenzin, they were both holding me back, so maybe that's why...
Well, I don't think they're referring to the lie. I think they were talking more about just in general, like, hey, let me be the avatar. And
well, they were trying to
more training, more training.
They were trying to control her life, is what it is. But I mean, he had to. I mean, Tenzin had to have known his father's past. Wouldn't you think?
I guess. I don't know. Would they?
Because I'm motherfucking Tenzin. Like, he just wouldn't.
I don't know. I don't see the essential like he would have to know. I mean,
I don't know. I'm just wondering if they're going to do something with that.
good, bad. I'm not sure, but
There is also one other really interesting thing, which is, have you noticed that this is the exact opposite of Aang's story arc? Like an exact 180 degrees. What was Aang's story arc? I never wanted to be the Avatar. I wanted to be a normal kid.
Here
What is
she
Korra's
wants to be
story
the
arc?
Avatar.
I never wanted to be a normal kid. I want to be the Avatar.
Yeah, I like how
I like that switch up.
The actual fighting and stuff and going to the Avatar state comes very natural to her, but the philosophies, is much harder to come across.
So I personally like that.
Yeah, the only thing I'm still a little afraid of, and you see a little bit in this, again, is that maybe a touch of the regression in Korra. And what I found out with Aang's character is that I found if Korra was doing this and we did not have Last Airbender, I hate making that comparison, but if this was going on, I'd probably be more forgiving of it. But I think it's the fact that Aang was brought in and he was still a kid and they acknowledged that, but he still acted, for the most part, very adult when these troubling times were coming, and he wasn't a whiner, he wasn't a complainer. So when you have that first and then you have this character, it's a tough act to follow. So I think it's okay that she, like I said, that she's rough and she wants to rush in and she makes a lot of mistakes, but I think sort of that constant pride, I'm the Avatar, like you said, just sort of in the first season it's okay, but it's here when she's just not learning, and how many times is she gonna apologize and stuff. It's, like I said, for here it wasn't too bad, but I'm hoping it's not like the formula or the pattern,
I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it if we hadn't already gone through a first season.
Exactly.
That's what bothers me is we did this in the first season, and again, this may be because they got stuck because they had no idea how many more seasons were going to come after this, so they're just like, okay, let's throw everything we can into this season, and now they're there. So
but they could continue her progression, though. I mean, they could.
Yeah, but I mean, part of the problem is the first one ended with this giant spiritual moment of her hitting the ultimate low, and then, you would think that would do something. That would stick in her head. But that's the thing, though. They may be looking at this like, well, now where do we go? We had her come to the spiritual realization at the end of season one.
You could take it somewhere that wouldn't just be a repeat. And I'm not saying it'd be easy.
You could have if you didn't just give her all her powers back, which again may have come from the fact that they didn't know where they were gonna.
Even beyond that, people are interesting. It's not like, oh, once you hit that stage, you're not interesting anymore. No, find what's gonna make that person interesting after you hit the lowest moment or the highest moment or whatever, because you can keep going. So that's my one fear, is that it's just gonna hit that formula again.
Yeah, I hope we don't go through the whole formula beginning to end all over again. But the idea that she's got a lot of self-confidence and a lot of I'm the Avatar and this and that goes back to episode 1 from season 1. Like, I have no issue with that.
I'm fine
As
with
a little girl, that was her first line. She was like, I'm the freaking Avatar.
No, and actually that's what made me think, I'm really gonna like this, and I like that it was different. It's the fact that, like we were saying, just sort of that repetition, that formula, and sort of that not, it's that not caring for others. It's that constantly thinking of herself, and at the end of episode she's gonna realize I shouldn't have thought of myself. It's that constant formula over and over, and some variation would be nice.
I mean, I think the thing for me is, my major issue with it, I mean, this could totally change over the course of the season. We're only in like episode 2 or 3, I guess, however we're going to talk about the first one, but I don't feel like there's been any progression whatsoever. We're just kind of back to square one.
Yeah.
Which is not terrible. If they want to do it all over again, they can, but I understand she doesn't have to be perfect, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't feel like I've seen any change now from season 1. She seems to me like the exact same character.
Yeah.
Like whatever
and
happened
all the other characters
whatever
are evolving,
happened in
like
season
Tenzin and even what's his name? why am I forgetting his name? Bolin. Like, even he, in a sense, is kind of evolving. He's moving on to other girlfriends and stuff. Mako's kind of the same, but...
Mako's kind of the same, but Mako's putting in an effort. I think he's trying to do this whole relationship thing. This is actually my problem, is I think it's... Now I'm putting it together in my head. It's going to take a while, but she just isn't that interesting of a character this time around compared to...
Because we saw it.
The first season. Yeah, it's... Tenzin and Mako are doing all of these things. So far this season, I'm just not really that interested. Nothing has happened with her character that has been that interesting. What revelations have there been? What has changed? You know, so far it's, well, I'm upset at my dad. I'm like, okay, that's fair. I get that. But there's nothing else really to cling to. It's kind of like you're just exactly the same as you were in season 1.
Yeah, we kind of know she's going to be duped and that Tarlok 2 is going to keep using her as a puppet until she wakes up.
Watch us be wrong, though. I would love it if all of a sudden there's some huge twist.
I would be thrilled.
Shit.
I would be thrilled if that was the case, but I can't.
It turns out he was good all along, and her father was the evil one.
Holy shit. That would be awesome.
With the twist.
I don't see them going that route, though. That would totally, like, pull the rug out from under us, but I don't see them going that route. But, yeah, no, I sort of agree. It's just she's not that interesting right now, and I think you could make her interesting. It'd be difficult, but I think you could make her interesting after going through all that stuff and still evolving the character. Hopefully they will. Hopefully they'll do something fun with it. Like you said, we're only on episode 3, but
so far in the 3 episodes, I just feel like there's nothing going on.
Yeah, like there's all this really cool stuff, and Avatar, Korra goes, hits something.
Well, it's chess piece. It's like everybody has all of this interesting character development or some sort of progression or something going on, and with her, I just feel like it's chess piece storytelling. Like, she goes here, she does this, she activates this. It's very video game-esque.
Yeah, just her throwing complaint and apologize.
She pulls the switch, the Northern Lights comes on, and then maybe there's an apology. So I don't feel like I know her character any better after these 3 episodes.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. We're finding out so much about Tenzin and these other people, and I feel like I'm not finding out
like whenever Mako is, trying his best to, I'm like, okay, that's something
we've never seen him
much
try
of.
This. Yeah. So, no, that's a very good point. So, okay, that's it, and we'll see you guys for, I guess, episode 4, Civil Wars Part 2. See you there.